Hey, Timegate Tavern. This is a little impromptu, but with the server downtime, I thought I could use a drink. So I'm gonna have a drink. See how that works. But I'm not drinking alone. Here comes my good friend Herchibald von Hymansbane.
Well, if it isn't Cameron Chandler, I knew I would see your ugly face.
My name's Radish, but thank you.
Oh, whoops.
And what was the other one? You got a buddy?
Hi!
Oh, yeah, I found this creature under a dumpster, and I thought it looked funny, so I brought it with me.
Yeah, I'm pretty funny looking, but you know, that's all I got going for me. I got to be honest, it's kind of sad.
That's okay. What's your name?
I'm Rixxy a go-go. Pleasure to meet you.
That's a terrible name.
Well,
so what are you guys doing today?
Right now, I am playing a vanilla private server that I already forgot the name of because there's so fucking many.
Wow, classic.
Yes.
Crazy.
Oh, now we're talking earlier. We're always talking about WoW stuff, but today's a big day because the Prepatch Part 2 comes out, which is so obnoxious. I almost wish that they didn't do the pre-patch and they just had a launch day with the new features. Because piecemealing it out's getting annoying.
Yeah, I didn't like getting the pre-patch and then like not being able to do the fun shit that's in pre-patch.
Well, I think this is kind of a special circumstance. I didn't play during Kata. I kind of dipped out sort of towards I guess it was like the Argent Crusade in Wrath. But, I mean, with the talent tree revamp thing, I think it's kind of reasonable to piecemeal it out a little bit. Let people get comfortable with that, how, like, abilities got pruned or, you know, opened up some other play styles. And then it's like, okay, new class or new race. And then, like... then you have your event and stuff. I feel like the 2 weeks might not be long enough, but I mean, I think this is like a special circumstance where I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited to clap some dragon ass. That'll be fun.
So talking about Dragon Ass, Herchie, are you gonna be playing Evoker?
Absolutely not.
Is that because you're morally opposed to casters, or is there some other reason?
That's actually really a really good reason. But also, they can't tank, so.
I guess that's fair. I mean, but they seem so cool. They have all these like sweet abilities and just like new toys to play with.
Fucking awesome if they could be prot warriors. How cool would that be?
Not everybody can be that lucky. I understand the struggle. I couldn't have my blood elf warrior for many years. That's like my favorite thing practically now. So
yeah, it's because they're addicted to crack and warriors don't use drugs.
Well, Rixxy, you sound a little more positive on Evokers. Are you gonna roll one?
I know I'm going to roll one. I don't know how long I'm going to stick with it necessarily. Like, I like a lot of classes. Like, I like priest. I like mage. But, like, in my heart, I know I'm a dirty, small-brained melee DPS player. Like, Paladin is my first and truest love. I love Warrior.
Oh, dude, fucking
Demon
Hunter. Paladin.
Yeah, I like melee DPS stuff so much, where it's like the Evoker has some kind of fun stuff, and I'm really excited to try it out. But I feel like it's probably, like, not meant for me, I guess. If that makes sense.
It does. I think it's very interesting that they came out with this. It's so specific, the play style.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Monk spoiled a lot of people where it was good at all three things. And I remember conversations back when Monk was new. It was like, boy, they can never do a class that's not like this. Like, they always have to make everyone happy in the future.
Mm-hmm.
And then they came out with Demon Hunter, and it's like, hey, we're going to restrict your race selection drastically, and you can't be a healer. And people were a little surprised, but it's like, yeah, but how would you make a Demon Hunter? You know, and then they come out with Evoker, and everyone's like, what is this?
Yeah, it really fucking turned out of nowhere. I kind of like the idea a little bit for no other reason than because it's setting a precedent for weird shit. So, maybe down the line we'll get some other fucking like weird thing like that and it can be cool.
Yeah, gotta have an ogre mage that requires two people to play.
Dude, I would fucking unironically main that shit. It sounds so fun.
On that topic, I think one of my favorite things in Heroes of the Storm was when they would have a really unconventional gimmick character.
Yeah,
And
like Cho'Gall.
And it's harder to pull that off in an MMO where you want to be like dedicated to a character. But I kind of wish they would experiment with these weird like minigame stuff. So, Rixxy, you ever play Final Fantasy 14?
A little bit, yeah. It was
Did you
not
get into
for
Blue
me.
Mage?
No. My friend went at great length about how like neat they are, and I've watched some videos and stuff, and they seem like rad. I gotta be honest.
Well, Herchie, do you know how the Blue Mage works?
I know exactly zero about Final Fantasy.
So, Blue Mage is a joke class. It's like a mini game on the side.
Okay.
So, you can't use it for like Dungeon Finder or Raid Finder. And you're locked 10 levels behind everything else.
Okay.
But you're super overpowered because what you do is you learn spells based on all the other enemies, including raid bosses. You can get raid boss spells. And it's like Pokemon, where you have like a spell book. And it's like, can I get all of these 150 spells unlocked?
Yeah,
And you can do these different builds where you can like stance for tank or healing. And you can do an achievement where you have like an all blue mage party where you have to clear raids at certain like levels.
Alright.
Yeah, I remember.
It's really fun.
I remember seeing, what was it? I was playing and like running around on whatever like fighter guy, and there was a blue mage that kept dying to. They're like these guys that exploded. They had like a self-destruct ability or something.
Yes.
Yeah, and he was like farming that. I would like kill them. It was like, oh no, you're dying, dude. You're just like AFKing. What's up? He's like, oh yeah, I need to learn their abilities. It's like, what are you talking about? It's like such a fun idea. I really like that. I feel like if WoW were to do something like that, that's like your legendary trinket thing. You steal a boss ability or something, right? That could be interesting.
You know what it reminds me of? Going back to MoP again, but do you remember those scenarios where it was like, it wasn't a dungeon, it was like a narrative 3-party thing?
Mm-hmm.
Or 3-party member thing?
Oh, the scenarios.
I kind of wish they would do something where it's like adventurer book. And you go to the adventurer book and it's like, oh, you should check in on your ogre friend. See what adventures your ogre has been on. And it puts you into a queue to like play with somebody as a 2-headed ogre.
It's fun.
Yeah.
And that's its own separate content.
Oh man, that would be so much fun. I'm really disappointed there aren't those kind of scenarios in game. They just kind of dropped it. I remember like leveling through MoP. It's like there's a lot of that stuff just baked into leveling and whatever. And it's like Legion kind of sort of had some aspect of that, the going to get your legendary items or your artifact weapons. And it's like, okay, I want more stuff like that in that game.
Yeah.
Like that sells kind of a lot of the fantasy aspect for it, where it's like, a lot of
they drop content so fast.
I still maintain that Legion questing was like the funnest the game has ever been.
Barring a zone that shall go nameless, I feel, but beyond that,
Under my love.
No, that was the best.
that was the good one. Okay.
No, that part was the best, but yeah, I don't know. I definitely hope for more. I hope Dragonflight kind of injects some of that, because like the dragon riding thing is its own kind of mini game, I guess, and it's like there's a whole bunch of design space free to like fun dragon bonding quest stuff that's just totally like separate that you can do, and like
dragon bondage.
I mean, I don't know what Alex Strauss is into, but
well, I do want to talk about Dragonflight since that's kind of what we're all impatiently waiting for. Herchie, you got to tell me, what's your most looked forward to aspect of Dragonflight?
Most forward looked to aspect is probably gonna be raiding with my bros.
Yeah.
Because I'll be honest, I'm not honestly I'm not much of a video game person anymore. Like I don't really play too many video games, but if my buddies are doing something, it's always fun to hop on with them. I can't remember the last time I like sat down to play a game like for myself.
Well, thanks for coming onto my video game podcast.
Yeah.
Now, you did say you're not super keen on evokers. I'm wondering, is there any like special content that's built for you, or is this going to be a very bare bones expansion for you?
My number one priority is always like it's a social thing for me, so I'm not too worried about that. I really enjoy tanking, specifically doing Mythic Plus. Raids are all right, but I really like how Mythic Plus felt in Shadowlands, because you would have your first few levels of keys would be here's how you do the dungeon. Then after like 15 or higher, there'd be, okay, now here's how you do the dungeon like really well. And then like anything past like an 18 was like you're doing these crazy setup combos with your buddies, and like you're coordinating your cooldown usage so you can like stack effects on top of each other for really specific mob pulls. And it's like you're in there for maybe 30 minutes tops, but it feels like freaking 6 hours because you're just there's so much going on. That sort of stuff really is really exciting.
How about you, Rixxy?
Well, in that same vein, I mean, I'm just excited. Every new expansion, I'm not gonna lie, I do kind of get geeked about. Like, even though I dropped Battle for Azeroth like a hot rock, like, I don't even think the first raid had come out. I was excited for it. Shadowlands, I had a lot of stuff going on in the personal life, but I was like, it sounds interesting. I'm eager to see where it goes, for better or for worse. Dragonflight in general, I'm just kind of like generally excited, but I am kind of excited more for Mythic Plus stuff. It seems like since Legion, they've really kind of made a concerted effort to keep this around, as like it's a really good system, honestly, and bringing back some of the old dungeons and sort of making them relevant again. I'm excited for that. My only complaint with some dungeons in Shadowlands, I guess more specifically, was it seemed like every trash pack had like 3 guys you had to interrupt or stun, or like every little thing. It felt like there was a lot of sort of general mechanics going on, and my fingers crossed hope for Dragonflight is make more trash mobs more trashy, I guess.
Oh man, I'm the complete opposite almost.
Well, I just feel like there was a lot of, I played with some of my friends, and it's like we, just unintentionally double up on kicks or something. And it's like, oh, that's actually really vital, even at like lower level keys. And my hope for that is, that it's not as tight, I guess. There's not
that it could be better relegated towards like the more maybe push that requirement towards like the higher end of the keys, the higher end of the content.
Yeah, because it
so
feels
like
if
you just want to do
it feels like even at the low levels, it's like there's all these mechanics going on all the time, and then it's just like on the harder difficulties, it's all of those mechanics going on and it kills you harder. And it's like, okay, either a nice kind of like smoother ramp into it, or more obvious like tiering. It's like here's the key where it's like heroic difficulty, and here's the key where it's mythic difficulty, or what, that kind of thing. I don't know. I'm just excited for Shadowlands, or not Shadowlands, Dragonflight in general. I want to try out Evoker, have another 5 characters I will never hit cap with, and just kind of putz around with that.
You're talking about the tuning. I think in a general sense, I'm really optimistic about Evoker, but I'm also very concerned about that like top 1% tier, because some of the things they're doing. I've only been following the healing spec. Just the fact that the heals are shorter range than everything else in the game seems like I see what they're going for. It's a high mobility thing. The heals work a little differently. Like, I kind of get it. But I was watching a video where they're running a raid, and they're like, yeah, here's the problem we're hitting. Like, the mobility doesn't matter because I'm stuck here. And it's like, And so there's things like, I feel like maybe it's less of a problem in dungeons, but raids with more people might get messy. It might depend on who your other healers are too. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I'm so casual.
What my one concern, I guess, is kind of like that super high level play where it's like you just don't see Evoker being taken or something, because their heals are shorter range, and it's like, well, why don't we just take a priest?
I doubt that.
I doubt it would happen, but I'm just like, I don't want to see a scenario
like,
where
first
you
tier,
take
first
three
tier
Evokers.
and a half, they're going to be huge.
Sure, but you don't want to see the scenario either way. You don't want to see triple Evoker, and then you don't want to see no Evoker, right? Is my feeling, where it's like, you kind of want everybody to have their niche. You don't want them to be like 4-stack Evoker DPS.
Well, you won't see triple Evoker because you will be seeing like quintuple Evoker because everyone's going to be playing it.
Well, I guess in like healing or whatever, right? Like,
did you see the bear update?
There's a bear update?
Yeah, for Guardian.
No, can they cast Moonfire now or something?
Well, it's interesting. What they did was they tweaked some of the talents, and it's like, oh, okay, maybe they're gonna fix it, and then just a flat 50% increase on all healing and damage output.
That's I'll take it. I mean,
well, yeah, I'll take it. All the druids are like, hey, you know what? If the math checks out, I'll take it. So now, like, people are running the sims on the PTR, and they're kind of like, oh, right now bear is outperforming all of their tanks. So right now, only take bears. And it's like, I hate this community. Like, just
yeah.
It's so balancing is tricky. I get that you want things a little balanced. But it's like one thing gets a buff, and everybody's like, just delete your Demon Hunter right now. You'll never play it again.
Yeah, that's kind of the worst part about raids, I feel, where dungeons, it feels like less of a concern. Because, unless you're pulling like, I want to do a 34, this week or something. Where raids, it's like, I hate to say that there's like predefined comps that people kind of get stuck into. But it's a lot of like, oh, you're playing, Ret Pally, oh, you're going to just get the bench for a year. And it's like, well, that doesn't feel good. Oh, you're playing, Prot Pally. Like, oh, well, as a tank, they sim whatever less than, a Vengeance or a, Prot Warrior or something. So we're not even going to bother. It's like, well, that's... I don't know. It seems like there's a certain obsession especially between people of like lesser skill, to chase, whatever the mythic strat is or whatever, and assume that's what's going to give them success rather than...
This is the Dunning-Kruger effect in action.
Yeah.
And then you see like actually competent players being like, dude, just play whatever.
Yeah, I'm just hopeful. I guess that's my biggest hope for Dragonflight, that I don't get fucking benched because I want to bring my Ashbringer. Like, that's my one hope. But
well, if you're going red, then your element is going to be Mythic Plus for sure.
Yeah,
because you want to be in the thick of shit and just like spamming Divine Storms.
Oh, all day. The Art of War, actually written by Lady Leodrin.
Oh yeah.
In fact, yeah.
Okay, Rixxy, you mentioned dragon writing. Mm-hmm. I don't know how to put this. Do you give a shit?
Yes.
Okay.
I feel like treating flying as swimming in air is so boring and stupid and obnoxious.
Yeah.
It's convenient, but I hate it. And if if flying mounts functioned like, I guess how this implementation of dragon riding would be like back in Burning Crusade, I would have been all about that stuff. But I understand it doesn't appeal to everybody, but I think it's such like a neat idea that depending on how it plays out, I'd love to see it just carried through to more expansions. Because I want
more interesting ways of traversing the world, I think, would open up more opportunities for making the world sort of character in itself again.
Mm-hmm. What I really want is dragon riding for the next expansion, except I get a fighter jet. I get like those plane biplane models from vanilla that there still isn't a mount for. Oh my god, I'm angry.
I think what bugs me, I can't imagine a better way to do this, but the races kind of underwhelm me a bit, and I couldn't put my finger on it until someone they did this great Photoshop where it was a dragon there, but it was a screenshot from Superman 64.
Yeah.
And Lex Luthor is like, champion, can you fly through my Azeroth rings? There's something stupid, and I'm just kind of like, I know some people that have gotten in the beta say that the races are fun, except they got gold medal on all of them in a day. And it's like, yeah, I don't know how else to handle that, because based on how the content is, that's just going to be a reality. If you really want to, you can just finish them. But I don't know what else to do with that. Like, I'm sure there's going to be a daily quest where it's, you got to fly through these rings if you want 5 gold, but
well, I
don't know if that's engaging.
They had those, like, probably one of my favorite games is Spyro 1. And in those free flight levels, there was, you had to fly through the rings, and you had to torch the, like, goblin guys or orc guys, while they're riding on their little train track, and you had to, light the lighthouses and stuff and fly around, and it's all timed, and it's like, you're the hot shit when you get everything done in one pass. But, like, that's outside of the realm of, like, most casual players. And I think something, like, as simple as that, you have your island expedition or whatever, you sent off, here's the weekly, like, randomly generated thing where you got to do, kill 5 of these and fly through 5 of 8, do whatever kind of nonsense. And it's like, I feel like that would keep it at least a little fresh.
If there was just something like shooting.
You know what would be more interesting than, get revered or exalted with, current faction to unlock your ability to upgrade a fucking legendary? Here's a level, collect all of the little doodads. And, basically it's just a fucking Jack and Daxter level, but as a zone that you can go into in World of Warcraft and just collect all the little fucking things and get a high score. And maybe you get a mount, maybe you get a title, maybe you just get like a fun little screenshot. I think that is a lot more engaging than just doing the same like 2 or 3 weeklies for a month and a half.
Yeah, I guess
Okay, I want to ask you guys, Dragonflight, the story, do you care?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm a little checked out. I'm not gonna lie. I'm hopeful, but I'm definitely like, well, they went whatever direction they were gonna go. So
I think I told you my philosophy on WoW's story the last time you had me on your show.
Yeah, didn't you just write it all off pretty much?
Yeah, just ignore it and make up your own bullshit.
So I want to ask Herchie, do you even know what the story is?
No, and honestly at this point I'm not sure I want to.
Yeah, I kind of wondered if you even like heard anything or not, because that was something else. Like, I guess actually by the time this goes up, we'll have the new cinematic.
Oh yeah.
But at the time of recording, we haven't seen it yet. And part of me is really afraid that something's gonna happen, and it's like Alex Strauss is there, and all the dragons gather, and she says, the champions of Azeroth have done their work, but they couldn't stop the jailer's plan from going into the... And they just, like, canonized Shadowlands. It's like, oh no, they did one more thing. Like, my biggest fear right now.
Ooh. Oh no, okay, here's the world's greatest retcon, right? Dragonflight, it opens, you know, there's a council of dragons, they're meeting together, like overlooking some plateau or, you know, whatever. And, you know, they're having a discussion, and all of a sudden, like, Ysera in her, like, night elf form just, like, bolts awake. It's like, oh my god, guys, I had the worst dream.
My dream, like, opening cinematic, if you make a Drakthir character, it's like a flashback in time, and you're on like an ancient world, and Illidan Stormrage is like, Drakthir, I need you to collect the Sargerite keystone. And you do it, and then, you know, flash forward a little bit, and then you're on the Black Temple, and Illidan is betrayed, and you get frozen, and then you wake up, and it's like 10,000 years in the future, and that's when the game takes place.
You know, I'd be okay with that.
You know what I want to happen? I want the first quest. You show up on the Dragon Isles, right?
Mm.
And they say, like, oh, you know Alexstrasza? She's up in the Dragon Temple. And so you quest all the way up to the Dragon Temple. And you get there, and she says, oh, champion, all the dragons are going to die. We have to revitalize the pools of Azeroth that we nest all our eggs in. And we don't know what to do. And the champion character says, well, that's okay. I have the Heart of Azeroth. And you just, like, turn it on. And it's like, oh, that solved it.
You fly up to the top of the Dragon Tower, and Alexstrasza is like, Drakthir, I'm ovulating and desperately need your seed. You're like, I am on it.
Okay, you're out questing somewhere, and you just get, like, a banner ad on the side that says, like, you know, Alexstrasza's there, and it's like, my husband's dead. I just want sex. Call now.
Hearthstone now. God.
Okay, I promised to only keep you guys for a short bit. So I want to ask both of you. Dragonflight vibes. Are you feeling optimistic? Are you feeling pessimistic?
It's giving me a real mob vibe.
Is that a good thing or not? Just to qualify.
I don't
it's
know.
Wet and dirty, is what he's saying.
It's based on a DreamWorks property.
I don't know. I'm one thumb up, one thumb sideways. I'm positive and hopeful that I will have time to enjoy all it. But it's, you know, if it doesn't turn out that hot, then, you know, no harm, no foul. I still like playing WoW with my buddies. That, you know, Blizzard can ruin all sorts of stuff, but they can't take that away from me yet. I hope.
I guess one last thing.
One more thing.
Are you guys caught up on all your pet battles and stuff?
Oh, I forgot!
Like, the way that the Drakthir can soar so fast, you're gonna get ahead of the curve so fast, man.
Oh, sweet. Perfect.
Ideal. I've been meaning to level up my my only book team. That's not a joke, actually.
No, it's just... The fact that they nerfed Soar because they were afraid of that still irks me.
Can't let him have too much
That's
fun.
the totally real reason why, and no other reason is why.
Well, okay, I do have one question, right? So
Okay.
Soar, as it works, essentially you just kind of like learn flying for your expansion, right? You can just use that wherever? Is that the way it's meant to work?
I'm sorry, one more time. I was distracted by my delicious beer.
Sudsy. No, so soaring, you know, do you talk to a like the flying trainer and you're like, I'm level 20, I'm or 30 or whatever it is now. I want, you know, outland flying. Do you still do that? Because if
no.
Okay.
So Soar is like a built-in racial.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a little weird. So I'll catch everybody up in case they don't know. There's dragon riding, and then there's Soar. Soar is like the base features of dragon riding, but a couple of the things you level up in dragon riding will apply to Soar.
Mm-hmm.
But those upgrades only apply on the Dragon Isles.
Okay.
And outside, in the rest of Azeroth, you have base dragon riding for your soar.
Okay. Because I was just thinking about, like, old zones and how, like Silvermoon, for example, or whatever, Are they going to just say, oh, no, you can, like, hop, you can do, like, a 10-foot leap, and then you're stuck, or what? Because that would be fun for them to kind of readdress some of those older zones. Because everywhere, generally speaking, is pretty well developed for flying, but it's still, the Exodar, some of those places where it's like, no, it would be fun to just, like, blow around during, like, the Siege of Mount Hyel. Like that raid? Well, I guess you can't soar in raids, but I don't know. I would just be excited for that.
Yeah, there is that one dungeon where you can soar, though. I'm looking forward to that just to see how it pans out. It's giving me the vibes of those vehicle-heavy raids in Wrath, where they were just really excited to use the vehicle tech, and it's not actually fun.
I know. That's the next expansion. It's World of StarCraft. You get to have your cool Vulcans or whatever. You can have your Firebat Paladin build or something.
Yeah. Well, okay. Herchie, you have any closing comments?
Closing comments. Everybody should play the class that they find the most fun.
So Paladin.
And anyone who tells you not to is a fucking dweeb. And video games are supposed to be fun.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Well, goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm waving goodbye. You can't see.
I'm waving goodbye too. I'm gonna force you to animate that.
I'm gonna leave the bar and not leave a tip.
I'm just gonna spill all my shit on the floor.
I'm gonna stay here and drink more.